Hi guys, my name is Quori-Tyler, aka QT, aka Books with QT, and in today's video, I am answering your burning questions.
And happy Vlogmas!
In the spirit of full transparency and honesty, this is my second time recording this video solely because of the fact that I want to use this mic right here and make this feel a little bit like a podcast. And the first time I recorded, the mic had some weird muffly sounds going on. I think it was due to my plug not being plugged in all the way. So I've answered all these questions, but it's okay. It just means I'm going to give you more of a concise, better answer. Let's just all pretend like we don't know that, which if I didn't say anything, you wouldn't. So why am I saying something now? I'm not too sure. So a few days ago on my Bookstagram account, which follow me on there if you're not, I asked you guys to ask me some of the questions that you have for me. It could be book stuff, personal, career, things about the TV show I was on. And you guys did just that, and I really appreciate it. You guys asked some great questions, and I just wanted to use this as a way to get closer to you guys, to make you feel like you know me a little bit more. Obviously, I've been posting on YouTube pretty consistently now with doing Vlogmas for the last 12 days or 11 days, I guess. But I feel like I've just been posting a lot of book content and reviews about books and just everything about books, but not really talking much about myself. And I do have some new followers and new people being exposed to me.
So I picked out 15 questions that were kind of repeated a lot or just seemed a little bit interesting that I want to talk about. So let's get into it. Let's start with the book question. What book trope do you want to experience in real life? I need to experience friends to lovers because that is, spoiler alert for another question, my favorite book trope. I feel like it's just so pure and innocent, and I want someone who is my very best friend and that I enjoy doing everything with. Because honestly, if it's enemies to lovers, like, I hate you. I don't want you in my love life. You know what I mean? What are the 5 books you read the fastest? I'm just gonna list them off really quick. In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Expiration Dates also by Rebecca Searle. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. Those were all books I read in a day or less than a day or in one sitting, just quick books. It typically takes me like 3 days to finish a book, so finishing a book in a single day is huge for me. What has gotten you into reading and what is your favorite genre? I said it a little bit before, my favorite genre is friends to lovers. I feel like it's the most believable. It's the most interesting for me to read about because I feel like I can really feel the love they have for each other, because you can feel it when they're friends and then also as they start to realize it's more romantic feelings that they're feeling. There's not a friends to lover I think that I've read that I did not like. And then what got me into reading? A little bit of a long story that I'll make short, but I love this podcast called The Toast, and the 2 hosts, Claudia and Jackie, are big readers, and they were always talking about the books that they were reading, and I was feeling FOMO. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling FOMO because I did not know what they were talking about. Then I started watching reading vlogs on YouTube, which again, very random because I wasn't reading, but in the reading vlogs, I saw people reading on their Kindle, and I thought the Kindle was just the coolest thing ever, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to read physical books. I can read it on a Kindle. It's gonna make me read faster. This is gonna be great. And so randomly ordered a Kindle, and me, my mom, and my little sister were going to Italy for a month trip, and we were going to be bouncing around Italy, taking a lot of trains and planes and just having a lot of downtime basically. So I was like, this will be the perfect opportunity. I can bring my Kindle and start reading on the trains. Got the Kindle literally the next day because Amazon, and I downloaded my first book, which is a book that Claudia and Jackie had talked about on the podcast called It Ends With Us. I read it literally in one sitting. I was up until like 3 a.m. that night just reading because I could not put the book down. And that's what made me realize, like, oh, this is what people are reading. Like, this is good. This is making me feel something. So then I was like, okay, I am a reading girly, which growing up, I had always read a lot of books. I loved reading until probably about high school when it started becoming like To Kill a Mockingbird and Jane Eyre and you know the books. But when I was younger, I remember on like random Saturdays picking up a Junie B. Joad and reading from cover to cover in one single sitting. I've always loved reading. It was nice to get back into it with some more like adult fiction books. Then I started buying books because I wanted to start a book Instagram account so that I can talk about all of my favorite reads, but I was like, I can't just hold up my Kindle. I need to hold up the physical books. So I started ordering some of the books that I had already read, and then I was like, wait, I think I like reading physical books more than the Kindle. Now I go back and forth, but yeah, that's the long journey of how I got here. What's a popular series or book you can never see yourself getting into? Honestly, this is gonna hurt some people, but I feel like Fourth Wing, I just don't see myself being interested in it. I watched, Brooke Averick has this podcast called Obsessed where she talks about things she's obsessed with, and one of the episodes was about Fourth Wing, and I was about to not watch the episode because she has spoilers and basically talks about what the whole book is about. But then I was like, you know what? Let me watch a little bit of it, see what she says about what the book's about, and then see if I'd be intrigued to read it. And I watched the whole podcast. I know every single spoiler. I know everything that happens. And I think that was enough for me. It's just hearing her talk about the story. I don't feel compelled to pick up the book and read it because there's just something about it that feels very juvenile to me. Even though I love a fantasy book, it's not that aspect that gets me, but I don't know, the fact that they're trading dragons or something, like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's gonna be the one for me. What's your top 5 fave book covers from the books you've read this year? I absolutely love this question, and early when I had filmed this video previously, I pulled them all out and they're right next to me. So this is in no particular order, but we have The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. If you watch my reading vlog on this, it wasn't my favorite book by any means, but I think the cover is so pretty. The illustrator did a great job. Then we have another book that's not my favorite by this author, but I loved the cover, which is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I think Emily Henry just has the cutest covers. Like this next to Happy Place, next to Book Lovers, next to Beach Read, like all of her covers are just so cute and fun. I love Funny Stories book cover. Then we have Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. Again, another author that I think has the best covers. The reason I even picked up Done and Dusted, which is her first book, was because the cover was so cute and I was like, I need that on my shelves immediately. And then of course, you can't talk about your favorite book covers and not have one at least of the Magnolia Parks books in there. And this is Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, which is the last Magnolia Parks book. All of these covers are absolutely beautiful, but this one I think is my favorite out of the whole series, Daisy and Magnolia combined. What I love too about the Magnolia Parks covers is that there's so many things on the covers that are related to things that happen in the book. So it's fun when you're reading it and then you go back to the cover and you're like, oh my gosh, that's why she has a bow on her shoe, or that's why this is in her hand. Like all the little things mean something. And then number 5 is Just for the Summer, Ami Jimenez. I can't talk about my faves of anything from this year without talking about this book. If you didn't watch my top 10 books of the year, this was going to be my first book of the year, number 1. I think the cover is just so cute. I love any kind of cartoony, fun, vibey cover. Favorite YA book? Okay, so I'm going to give one for different genres. Favorite YA fantasy, Once Upon a Broken Heart. Favorite YA mystery, The Naturals. And favorite YA romance, Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry, which is interesting. It's a book that I don't talk about often, but it's come up 2 times in this video already. It's a black love story, high school romance. Oh my gosh, the sky is so pretty right now. I'm gonna take a picture and show you guys. Guys, it's beautiful. Okay, go off, God. Favorite standalone book this year? I'd probably say Expiration Dates. There's a few books I loved more than Expiration Dates, but I think they're all part of series or interconnected series in some ways. So I would say Expiration Dates is my favorite, just like by itself, standalone. Moving on. What book trope do you hate the most? I think you can kind of gauge this based on my favorite book trope, but my least favorite book trope is enemies to lovers. And this is for a few reasons. Reason number 1, usually these enemies are such enemies that it's like, you can't make me believe that these people like each other. There's no way, especially not when they're still enemies like halfway through the book. Babes, you guys are never getting along. Like, how do you think you're gonna last in a relationship? Other reason I don't like enemies to lovers is because I feel like a lot of authors, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of authors use spice in books to try to make it seem like these two people actually like each other, but really the only chemistry, the only connection they have are in those spicy scenes, not in their dialogue, not in their feelings towards each other. And I'm the type of person that I don't care if a book has spice in it, but I skim through those parts. Usually I find when I'm reading an enemies to lovers book, because I skim past those parts, I'm still lost on like, wait, when did they start liking each other? And it's because it happens in the spicy scenes. I think that's a reason why I don't really like enemies to lovers. What did you do for work before YouTube? So YouTube is actually not necessarily work for me. It's giving passion project a little bit more, but I do like obviously content creation on TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, like throughout all platforms. Before this, I was working for a hot yoga studio. I was the like marketing I don't even really know what my title was, I can't lie. But I worked in marketing. I did social media marketing, graphic design, video editing, literally anything that you need to do on a computer or on a phone, I did for the company. I did their billboards, their little like flyers, anything. I would say mostly my job was graphic design towards the end of my time there. I still do graphic design a little bit freelance now, but I'm just not working like 9 to 5 corporately with it. So blessed and so honored that I get to do what I love and create content. So that's what I do now. I have a degree in fashion merchandise and marketing, and I definitely use that marketing part of it a lot. How many hours do you spend on content creation, or is that the career? Again, I'm doing content creation like literally all the time, 24/7. It's something that I just enjoy doing. Like I love making videos, telling a story through videos, editing. I love doing it all, so I'm constantly doing it. Okay, now going into the questions about the show I was on, The Circle. Do you miss the Circle apartment? They make them so cute, I wouldn't want to leave it. I loved my Circle apartment so much. My favorite thing in the Circle apartment was behind me in my living room, there was this white brick wall that was spray painted with this like blue purple butterfly thing. That was my favorite thing to look at, my favorite part. I remember when I first walked into the apartment and I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so at home. The only thing I didn't like about my Circle apartment was my bedroom. It reminded me of like a little boy's room. That's why I'm barely in there. If you watch the show, they had to force me in there one day. Like they were like, QT, you've been in the living room and the kitchen for every single conversation. We need you to have a conversation in the bedroom. And I was like, oh, I guess. Literally just slept in there. I did not spend any time in the bedroom. Also a fun fact. So a few days before we started filming for The Circle, we do like a test filming where they put us into one of the apartments to test us on screen to see like how we react to the stuff, how we would have a conversation. And the apartment that I was in ended up being Kyle's apartment on the show, but I thought it was going to be mine. Like I thought we were doing a test day in our actual apartment we were going to have. So that day I went back to the hotel. Literally I had like this little flip phone that they give you. You can't have your actual phone. And I was able to call my mom and I told her all about the apartment. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. It has this like surfboard and it's beachy vibes. It was giving very coastal. And the whole time I thought that was my apartment. Then when I went in for my actual first time going into my apartment, I was like, wait, I love this even more. So I was even more excited to have that one. If you could go on any other reality TV show besides The Circle, what would it be? Big Brother is my absolute favorite show in all of the world. Like I love nothing more. Obviously it would be Big Brother. That was my inspiration of even ever wanting to be on The Circle or watching The Circle, is because I loved Big Brother so much. But I would say now I would love to do The Traitors. Like any social strategy reality show, put me on, and I honestly feel like I will thrive. Someone hit me up. Not book, personal, or career related, but who's your favorite BB and Survivor players? Love this question. Favorite Big Brother player is probably, I always want to say Dan Giesling, but it just feels too obvious. So I'm gonna go Janelle. I love how Janelle plays the game. I love that she always won when she needed to win, and that was like constantly. I love that Janelle goes into the games not caring about people's feelings, because I feel like that's how I play these things. Like when I went into The Circle, I was like, couldn't care less about hurting people's feelings or coddling people. I'm going in there to win $150,000, and at the end of the day, that's what I'm gonna do. Or was it 100,000? I don't even know. It doesn't matter because I didn't win. And my favorite Survivor player is Tyson. Need I say more? I love Tyson. Favorite beauty products? Well, it's funny you should ask because I actually have it in my pocket right now. This is so random. I just started using this literally like 2 days ago. It's the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Vinyl, and it's so cute. It literally fits in your pocket. It looks like a pen, and you like press this button to like activate it or make it come up, and then put it on your lips, and your lips are literally juicy, just like the name says. I've been using this a lot. I'm gonna need to get another one because it's so good. Someone asked about deets on hair and skincare, and I would love to do a dedicated video on that. I feel like it's too much to get into detail right now, and also I don't have the products in front of me to show you guys. So if you would like me to do any kind of like skincare, hair care, makeup, like any kind of beauty type videos, let me know in the comments and I will be sure to do that. But yeah, those are all the questions that we have for today. My camera literally keeps shutting down, so sorry about that. So I'm gonna end this really quick, but thank you guys so much for answering. Thank you guys so much for asking me questions. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed. My dog is coming. I hope you guys enjoyed. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I will see you tomorrow for the last day of Vlogmas. Bye guys. Mwah. Okay.